The next topic that we are going to study is on chapter 6, which talks about research report and research proposal. Okay, we were studying in the previous topic about research report, so I thought as a continuation it will be easy for you to finish this chapter before we go on to the other chapters. So what is the significance of report writing? Okay, what is the meaning of significance? Significance means importance. So importance of report writing. So writing a research report is a technical task. It is not just like writing a story or writing an essay. It is a technical aspect. Okay, so research report is very technical in nature. So it requires the skill of the researcher and effort and patience and penetration. Okay, so you have to have a lot of qualities to write a research report. See, even doing research is simple, because if you understand the way of doing research, you can do the research. But if you have to write a research report, it needs a lot more skill. So you need to have effort, put in a lot of effort. You have to be patient, and you have to have that penetrative thinking, where you understand what each research journal wants, and then you have to write a report based on that. Okay, and you also have to have an overall approach to the problem. Unless you grasp the concepts, you won't be able to have that continuity in your writing. It will be a very haphazard way of writing. So you have to have a continuity, and that means that you have to have an overall approach to the problem. Then the data analysis, then you need proper English language. Okay, because most of the research journals are in English, and very few are in other languages, and very few in Indian languages. In fact, I don't think there's any in Indian languages. So most of them are in English. So you need to be objective. That is, you need to know what needs to be written. You cannot write like a story, like a essay, unwanted words. All that should be removed. Only the technical important words should be written. And all this comes only when you have put in a lot of effort and put in a lot of thought into writing the research report. So writing a research report needs a lot of planning from you and preparation. You cannot just think today I will write a research report and then write something. It takes a lot of effort and planning. In fact, a lot of good researchers write 3 or 4 research reports in 1 year after doing the research, and if very fluent people write a lot more. Okay, but most people do not write research because they are not able to, and sometimes you can ask the help of other writers, professional writers, who will use your data and then write the research report and give it to you. Okay, so for the research report to be written, you need to have coherence of thought, creativity and intelligence. All this when you have together, then you will be able to bring out a good research report. Let us see what are the important aspects of writing a research report. We can talk about it in 4 aspects. The first thing is the transmission of knowledge. What is transmission of knowledge? It is the knowledge that spreads from one person to another. We were already discussing about how research means it. The important aspect of research is to transmit the knowledge from the researcher to the other people in the same field. So through your research report, you transmit the knowledge, and your research report lays the foundation based on which other people get the knowledge on your understanding of the research. So that is the first thing. So transmission of knowledge is one of the very important aspects of writing, one important reason for writing research report. Then the presentation of findings. See, any research will have some findings. Even if it's a negative finding, it has to be reported so that others can use it in their own research or in their clinical practice, as we saw in the utilization of research. Okay, so this presentation of research is very important so that other people can use it. It will help some people to save money. It will help other people to create research ideas. It will help other people in better patient outcome. So there are various reasons why we need to present the research findings, and writing the report is the best method of presentation of findings. The third thing is examining the validity of generalizations. That means every report, every research ultimately will generalize the findings to the general population. See, if you do a research and you have a result, suppose you say you do a unique research which says smoking does not cause lung cancer. Okay, if that is your research conclusion, then you will tell the whole world that smoking does not cause cancer, lung cancer. So what will that mean? That will mean that all the cigarette company shares will jump, all the people who are stopping smoking, they'll restart smoking, and finally when they look at your research, you would have found it, you would have done a wrong way of research, or you would have done it in people who have mild form of smoking, that is one cigarette a day they may smoke, or even one cigarette per month somebody smokes, you would have used them as samples, so their risk of getting lung cancer is very less. So if you use such a study to generalize for the whole world saying smoking does not cause cancer, then it will cause a lot of problems because of the generalization. So the validity of the generalization should be checked. So unless your research subject smokes one packet of cigarette a day or even 5 cigarettes a day, then they may not be at risk of lung cancer. But you did a study on one person smoking one cigarette in 1 month and generalized it to the whole population, then it is not valid. So this is why the validity of generalizations have to be verified, and that can be done through the research report. Then any research report has limitations, and based on the limitations a new researcher will do another study on the same topic without limitations. Okay, similarly your study will have some research conclusions, research findings. Other researchers may be interested by your findings and they may want to do further research. So that is the fourth reason for writing a research report, because the research report can be an inspiration for further research. Okay, so these are the reasons why the research report and the writing of research report are very important. Transmission of knowledge, presentation of findings, examining validity of generalizations, and inspiration for further research. Okay, the next thing is steps in writing a report. So what are the steps in writing a report? See, there are several steps that you need to understand when you write a research report. So the first step is to understand and analyze the research. So you need to have finished your analysis and you need to understand what your research is about. Then based on your analysis and the understanding of subject, you will plan and design the final outline. Okay, then you will prepare a rough draft, and based on the rough draft you will finalize the report. Okay, every researcher will usually write a rough draft before writing the final report, because rough draft will go through a lot of changes before the final report is made. Okay, so let us see each of these three things in detail. First is the logical understanding of subject matter. Okay, here there are two things important. One is the logic and the other is the chronological events. Chronological means step by step, as time, based on time. That is, first what did you do? In January what did you do? Then in February what did you do? March what did you do? So in that manner you will write based on the time, or it will be based on the logical sequence. Logical means, for example, in a research first you do literature review. So based on the literature review you write the introduction and the literature review. Then you come to the methods and methodology. Then you do the analysis of the data. So that is the logical sequence. So these are two ways in which you can write. So usually logical sequence of the subject is best method, because it will help you to write the research report just like a scientific report. Then the next thing is writing up the final outline of the report. Okay, what is the final outline of the report? Final outline means you will make a outline, or the first, it's not the report itself, it is only the outline of the report. That is, what are the important stages, what are the important aspects of the research. So that has to be written by you, so that you understand the sequence. Then the third step is to prepare the rough draft. Now you have understood the outline and you also decided the sequence in which you want to write. So now you will do the rough draft. So here it should be detailed, and every step, every stage you have to communicate what you have found through your research. So based on that, your rough draft will be prepared. And this rough draft, some people may have one rough draft, that is a first draft, and it will be the only draft. If you're not good in your English, or if you're not good in the way you write, or if you're not having a grasp of the subject, you may have to have a second draft, third draft, even a fourth draft or more, so that you will be able to fine tune and create a better report. And in the last stage, you will make the final report. So in this stage, you have completed all the removed all the unwanted things, and you have come to a final conclusion. So here in this stage, you will finalize the report. So it's not a rough draft anymore, it is a correct final outcome. So you will make the necessary changes, and then you will give finishing touches, and your report of your research will be ready. Okay, so I hope you understood these 4 steps. First, you will have to understand the matter, subject matter, then you create an outline, then you make a rough draft. If you want, you can make more rough drafts stage by stage, and then finalize the report. So this is the step-by-step process in which you will write the report. Now let us see the types of reports. There are several types of reports. Okay, the first one, oral or verbal report, we already studied in detail. So here you will be presenting either to your superiors or in a research conference. So since we just studied in the last class, I am not going in detail. So that is an oral report. Then the written report, I already told you about the rough draft that you have to make, the outline that you have to make, and you can make a final scientific report. Okay, so that can be published in the journal. So this is the second type of report. The third type of report is a technical report. Okay, usually a thesis or dissertation is called as a technical report. Sometimes the government also creates a technical report. So it covers all the details, and it is a detailed full report that is available for the public to use. This is technical report. The next type of report is the popular report. Okay, sometimes some people call it the lay report. Lay report means people who are not technical. See, if somebody tells you about DNA and how the DNA tests are done, all that, it's very difficult for a normal person to understand. Even an educated person will not understand that. So that is why every researcher has to make a popular report or a lay report, especially for funded projects. Okay, this will be simple and easy to understand. So even an uneducated person or a normal person can understand, because it does not have any technical jargon in it. So this is the popular report. Then the research article. Okay, research article is nothing but a publication in a journal. So you create, based on your research, you create a research article. Sometimes this can be also said to be the scientific report. So based on your research, you create a paper which can be published in research journals. Other than this, there is another report called the monograph. Monograph is nothing but a long essay on a single subject. Okay, so for example, journalists do a monograph commonly. Okay, this is not very common in medical field, but monograph is one type of report. So it is, you just take one single topic and then you write in detail about that particular topic, so that everybody understands. It has a lot of information about one topic. See, in a research you have a lot of information about different things, but a monograph, you have a lot of information about a single aspect. Then the next report is the business report. Usually this is for business purposes. So even a hospital business is a business, and so business reports can be used for the profit and loss, and how the business activity is running, how each department functions, what are the benefits, what are the shortcomings. So these all come under the business report. Then is the project report. Okay, so any project, if it's a funded project, or if it's even if it's a non-funded project, every project should have a report of how the project was undertaken, where it was undertaken, who all undertook the project, what was the focus of the project, and what was the outcome or the result of the project. So all this is covered by the project report. And then the dissertation is a detailed report. See, a research article may be 3 pages, but a dissertation is even 50 pages to 100 pages or even more. Okay, so you understand what is the difference between a scientific or a research article and a dissertation is a in-depth analysis and study. So it is a detailed description of a research. So a dissertation can be converted into a scientific article. So in a dissertation you do research and then write the dissertation. So but it should be detailed. You do a lot of literature review, you do a lot of discussion, and that can be shortened and made into a concise, smaller research publication, research article, or a scientific report. Okay, so dissertation is a large detailed report which is usually used for academic institutions, like for completing a course, that is a requirement. So that is why it has to be much more in detail, and it is usually bound and submitted to the university or to the college. So that is dissertation. And all, even the dissertation has the same steps, like the introduction, and then the methods and methodology, then the discussion, results, conclusion, everything. So only thing, it is much more in detail, and you will have some additions like a certificate, acknowledgement, all that each page will cover in the front part of the dissertation. Okay, so these are the various types of reports that we come across in research. Hope you understood this topic. In the next class we will see about the content of a research report and other aspects. Okay, or maybe we'll finish the content of research report in this class itself. See, content of a research report is nothing but the structure of a research report. Okay, we have already seen some parts of it, but we'll see a little more. So just now I talked about dissertation. Dissertation is a type of research report. So what does a dissertation contain? It contains some items in the first few pages, then the middle part and the terminal part. Okay, so the first few parts, what is it? First you will have a blank page in your dissertation, then you have a title page, then an approval sheet, that is if the university is approving a dissertation, or if your course guide is approving a dissertation, so that is the approval sheet. Then you will have a declaration by the researcher that you have got consent, and it is your original project, like that you have not copied it from anywhere, all that. Then the dedication, suppose you want to dedicate it to your classmates or your teacher or your family members, then you can have a separate page for that. Then you can have a preface or acknowledgements, where you see, dedication is something you dedicate the whole work to that person. Acknowledgement is you are thanking the people who helped you in doing the dissertation. So that will be the next page. Then you will have the table of contents. So here you will have the list of various chapters and the page numbers. Then you will have a list of tables which you have used in the scientific study or dissertation. Then you will have the list of graphs, charts, or other diagrams which you have, and list of patients, if any. Then the abstract, we already talked about abstract in the previous class. It's a one-page document which contains the introduction, methods, and all the other aspects of a research study. Okay, then we come to the main body of the text or content of the report. So here you will have introduction in the first part, and the second chapter will be the presentation and description of evidence, that is materials, methods, and then you will have discussion. Then you will have data analysis and interpretation. Then you will have data analysis, interpretation, then discussion, then results and conclusion. Okay, so this is the sequence of the text or the body, and then finally you will have a summary also. So all this is contained in the text. Finally, the last few items will be the appendix. If there is any appendix, you can have a glossary, then you'll have bibliography. Any reference that you have used in your discussion and your literature review, you should have a bibliography. Then you will have an index and the blank sheet at the end. So this is how a research report is made. And if it's a research article, this will be in a shortened format, which everything is made in 3 or 4 pages. And if it's a dissertation, it will be expanded and in detail it will be given, and it can last even up to 50 to 100 pages or even more. Okay, so this is the content of a research report. Hope you understood this. Next class we will see about reference, bibliography and the other topics. Thank you.